shows that my elevation was high enough out of the 100-year floodplain, so that got me a building permit. I rebuilt. I was back in my house September 22nd. September 22nd. And you heard when the construction zone come out. So I did everything that a lot of those people down there in my neighborhood rebuilt and were back in their homes by that time. And the city told us right after the flood, they said right on TV at their meeting, they said, do not count on a buyout. You get back in and rebuild your house. If you don't take care of your house, we're going to come in, we're going to tear it down, and we're going to assess it to you. That's exactly what Councilman Fagan said on TV. So what's the choice? I rebuild. Now I get rebuilt. The state comes out with the Jumpstart program. So I go down and apply. Oh yeah, you qualify for, some big gap money, they call it, between what I spent and, and what FEMA gave me. So then I get home, they call me up and they said, well, you don't qualify. Then they call me again and say, come down and do this again. They call me again and tell me, well, you don't. So the third time they called me, I just went in, I said, here's where I live. They went and looked at everything and they said, well, you're right, you don't qualify, so I walk out. In the meantime, 554 houses. Councilman Weineke told me a month ago that 10 people in that construction zone have received Jumpstart money. And I went to the city council last night, asked if I'd like to know what the ground rules are, why some people are receiving Jumpstart money in that so-called construction zone, which is, quote, quote, not the, it's arbitrary decision of the city. The floodplain maps that the city are going by are so outdated, they're entirely inaccurate. I'm showing in the 100-year floodplain. I'm out of the 100-year floodplain. Living right on the banks of the Cedar River, if the flood would have stayed where the city told us it was going to be at 24.5 foot, I wouldn't have had any water in my house. Now that's part of the frustration. But I don't understand how you can discriminate against, it's state money, it's not city. Then they also said that duplication of benefits. They said, well, my understanding on Jumpstart is if you use that money for what it's intended for, and you stay there 5 years, it's forgiven. So there's no duplication of benefits after 5 years. So if I would receive that money, which the state evidently wanted me to get, or they wouldn't have developed the program in the first place, and within 5 years they don't take my house for a levy or some other reason, then I did what the city told me to do. I got the money from the state, which they wanted me to have, evidently, because they developed the program. But by the city doing what they're doing, they've denied 554 people a chance to rebuild their lives, which is what they told them originally to do.
Good seeing you.
Okay.
See you, Mike. Don't kiss me.
I passed out Ellis Park to everybody. What was the question?